As of today, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is on the precipice of being released. This movie has so much hype that I've painstakingly recreated the FNAF movie set for your own enjoyment. It has been a great challenge for me as a builder, and I do hope you like it. I put a lot of heart and soul into making this build, so if you do like what I do, please like this video and subscribe. One more note before we begin, folks. This map is going to be expanded after the movie releases, with additional locations shown in the movie but not yet shown to us. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, we are in the main atrium for the pizzeria. Now, this is the creme de la creme of the building itself. It's the primary attraction, I might say, and obviously huge credit goes to the Blumhouse set design team. They did a fantastic job not only making an original pizza floor plan, a pizzeria floor plan, but just kind of matching the vibe of the original Five Nights at Freddy's 1 pizzeria, but twisting it in such an amazing and creative way. So to list off all of these little gizmos and what's-its in the building, we have to go to the entrance itself, where we have a bit of a waiting area, so to speak, and of course we have the prize counter over here. Now, to be fair, there's actually two prize counters, which I found a bit interesting, I might say. So obviously we have the prize counter over here and the general waiting area. You know, maybe families or children will be waiting there to get their ticket, or, you know, purchase their place at least in the main atrium for a party or something like that. Going into the main atrium, we have this wonderful skylight, which at night is so beautiful. You can see the stars themselves shining above as Freddy and his friends lie in wait for Michael and of course Abby. I think it's Abby, the girl's name is, but again, that's for the movie. We're talking about Minecraft. In terms of editability, I have left the curtains for the main show stages closed, just for a bit of a surprise factor. You can remove them or kind of pull them back in a way. It's real easy to do, and of course if you add any, well, add-ons, you could put them behind the stage and have it through command blocks or some kind of Minecraft wizardry to make them open. But again, I'm not really a redstone whiz, so I just kind of kept them closed. And you know, if you want, you can always open them up through the backstage, which we will get into later. Moving on from the show stages, we have a wonderful assortment of tables and chairs. One little neat note I have to say is the kind of glass, stained glass paintings of Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and of course Freddy. A really nice touch from the design team, at least in my opinion. Moving on from the wonderful assortments of tables and chairs, we have the main arcade, which I am quite proud of myself. The amount of remeasuring this actually took was insane. Like I said, a lot of reworking was done to this map over the course of many weeks, but it was all worth it in my opinion. So obviously we have these like weird little prize machines over here, of course some kind of vending machines, some arcade cabinets, and so on. We have this weird basketball hoop thing, which I was quite proud of making, I must say. Okay, moving on from the arcade, we have this kind of sheet of drawings that we're doing. Now, when I eventually update this map, I will do some pixel art of the little children's drawings. You know, you see this in Five Nights at Freddy's all the time, the crudely drawn, you know, children's drawing is, you know, my time at Freddy's or something like that. But of course, I'm somewhat daydreaming in that respect. Going over here, we have the second gift corner or prize corner, I might say, with all of your kind of little goodies, which I had a real blast recreating through textures. You know, we got like a little Bonnie plushie, a Chica plushie, a Freddy plushie, and some miscellaneous items, which I used item frames, flower pots, and of course kelp blocks. Sometimes less is more in terms of detailing, just so you don't really over detail the location. Sometimes it can feel really stuffed, which I was very keen to avoid with this location. Now, one more thing before we leave to other parts of the building, we have these wonderful neon signs surrounding the main atrium. Obviously, this is for the restrooms. The restrooms themselves, I'm going to add in a further update. They're not really seen, at least in the trailers or in the movie, so I kind of just left them where they were. But in terms of neon, I'm really happy with how this came out. The use of light blocks and of course stained glass was a excellent decision, at least on my part. It looks really good in terms of the whole, 80s neon, and it really kind of resembles the signs you see in the trailers and of course in the movie. Now, of course, with the atrium out of the way, we're going down to the security office. Now, obviously, like I said before, some of these will be replaced with pixel art. There's very much the sort of Five Nights at Freddy's, items, miscellaneous posters, that kind of thing. As a graphic artist, I really do like Scott Cawthon's designs. The little I don't know, like crappy like Freddy mascot posters in FNAF 3 are really good in my opinion. It sort of sells that 80s-esque, kind of profit, but trying to create some creativity. It's really interesting in my opinion. Walking down the corridor, we have the famous wall of YouTubers. Now, of course, when Dorco and Baz and others, 8-Bit Ryan and so on, went to the Five Nights at Freddy's set, which I got a lot of reference images from, let me tell you. They managed to have their faces on the Employee of the Month wall in a very funny Easter egg, I might say. So I thought I'd carry on the reference with some Steve heads and item frames. But of course, if we turn our heads, we go into the main security office. Now, obviously, this is it isn't really in the atrium, so there's no real decorations. You've got a television for employee tapes. You've got books and sort of files pertaining to finances, stuff like that. In terms of the management of the building, there have been no references to a manager's office, which is why it will be updated in the next update of this map. So I kind of thought I would focus most of my attention into the security office because it's such an iconic location both in Five Nights at Freddy's as well as the movie, so I may as well give it some love. And love I did give. Now, one thing, well, my favorite part of this room is the assortment of televisions in this room. I love the use of the different glazed terracottas and of course the grindstone as the fan. A brilliant design on my part. I was really chuffed about how this came out. So yeah, that is the security office. Next we go into the kitchen, but I may as well say one thing. The actual kitchen is next to the employee exit for a kind of deliveries and what have you. Now, of course, this is part of the larger map, which I won't go into too much detail, but this is where the vandals break in. They kind of cut the chain off the lock and they kind of get in through here. So if you want, you can put like a little van over here, maybe a bicycle, motorbike, sorry, not a bicycle. And to add to the horror element, it's literally raining. I did not do this. Weather cycle is on as pertaining to the map download, so well, enjoy the spooky vibes, I guess. Anyways, going into the kitchen, obviously it's very much like you see it in the trailers. A lot of cleaning equipment next to the door, some random files and what have you. There's different boxes of, pizza boxes, kind of rotten old stoves and stuff like that. Now, in terms of reworking, this room had, I would say, the most amount of changes in terms of like main locations in this building, just because of the weird layout of this kitchen itself. There originally was going to be a huge section over here, but obviously with the tunnels that were reworked to death, let me tell you, the kitchen was made to accommodate this and looks quite good in my opinion. I really want this to be a accurate, kind of portrayal, I would say, of the Five Nights at Freddy's building, and I put a lot of heart and soul into it, so I want to get it at least like 80 to 90% right. I can take it if like a few details are off, but I could not forgive myself if the entire kitchen was a different layout than the one you see in the movie. And now that the main locations have been searched and surveyed, we are now going on to the tunnels. Now, Oh my goodness. In terms of building, for those who know, I actually made a community post about this. Dorco and Baz, they uploaded their sort of tour of the pizza set, so to speak, and there were some images in there that sort of clicked everything together. Because as a builder, I've been working with reference images, and sometimes those reference images can be a bit hard to decipher in terms of floor plan. So for the past week, I've been completely gutting the back of this building, reworking the tunnels to make it as accurate as possible. The texture changes from brick to stone brick is a really nice touch in my opinion. And of course over here we have the famous sort of walk-in cupboard where Hank gets absolutely bodied by Bonnie the bunny. Now for those eagle-eyed viewers, you may have noticed the tunnels from the kitchen over here, which is a little detail. A lot of these buildings are connected through the back tunnels, which makes sense as a pizzeria. You got to have some kind of back way where employees can sort of hide from the children and not really break the immersion, so to speak. But in terms of length, these tunnels span the entirety of the building itself, well, at least the back of the building, with one exception which I'll get into a bit later. Obviously we have the storage room over here, which may be changed in the future. There is a storage room like this, but because there is no real image of what this storage room looked like, I basically went from the Baz and Dorco videos and make some shelves full of animatronic parts and what have you. Now the other two doors represent the show stages, which I mentioned earlier. So if I go through here, this is the Foxy show stage. Obviously it's a bit dark because the curtains are closed, so you can really sort of work your way with lighting and what have you. I think I may have like a box of light blocks if you want to use them to sort of light up the place. Maybe have a missing children's incident pizzeria or what have you. This is the main show stage itself. You can see the sort of ductwork of the roof overheading the show stage itself, where Bonnie, Chica, and of course Freddy will be standing. But of course the creme de la creme of location rooms is the I would call this parts and service, but I think a better name would be the mask storeroom. Okay, I'm not that creative, but you get the gist, folks. This is essentially where Freddy, I don't really know what happens to the girl, but she reaches in, the hand comes out of Freddy's endo, big spooky jump scare, and of course from here you can see the entirety of the rain and of course the outside, which is really nice in my opinion. That's better. As much as I do like the spooky rain, I do understand that the lightning can become a bit annoying, so let's get a stop to that. So going into parts and service, this originally was actually all the way over there as part of my reference images. I had no idea how wrong I was in terms of references. Now obviously this room has a sort of shutter door which goes to the outside. Now obviously we don't see the outside of this, but because it is diagonal, I sort of incorporated that into the outside of the pizzeria, which I'll get into in a second after we've done all of the interior. And our next subject, the roof. Okay, so going up the stairs as we see in the trailers, I sort of made a roof access garage because it didn't really make any sense for there to be no roof access, because repairs oh, excuse me, I've got a bit of a throat bug, but by God, I will get this video done. So yeah, through here we can see a lot of the roof gizmos and ventilation ducts, which sort of you can see through the layout of said ductwork. This is sort of the atrium over here, and of course if we go over here we can see the skylight and look into the main atrium over here. Again, huge credit to the Blumhouse set design. They have done an amazing job here, really sold the 80s pizzeria, especially with this amazing skylight. And of course from the roof we can see the haunted forest, which will be a part of the next update. I kind of added this as sort sort of set decoration, but I do understand there is a few plot points that do happen in a forest, either behind Freddy's or around Freddy's, so I will build up on this, make it accessible for you nice folks, and put in some secrets there as well to boot. So now that the interior is out of the way, I think it's time to get into the daylight, so to speak, and look at the amazing exterior of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie pizzeria. Okay, let's turn it today. That's much better. I can actually see. Okay, so looking at the exterior in general, obviously you've seen this in the intro, but I just gotta say, I have had a blast making this. Obviously, in terms of interior, I sort of had to make the front of it first, and then work my way into the interior before, just so I could shape it out. The sort of facade at the front was really fun to make. Obviously, for those who know me, I did make a tutorial on how to make the exterior set front, at least the sort of facade to it. But alongside that, we have this amazing derelict car park. Not one car in this lot except for that one over there, which I will not speak of, and of course the car that the player arrives in for the spawn point. Now, as I've said before, this will be expanded much more. There was very limited time I had in terms of getting this ready before the movie releases, so this will be expanded in a future updated map. But for now, I think this is a bit of a good enough start in terms of foundations, because, you know, this is where the movie happens. I know there's some scenes in Michael's neighborhood and of course the haunted forest, but for now we're going to start with this as the sort of main set piece, and then grow ourselves out until we have a fully fleshed out map with its whole new collection of locations and some secrets to collect. So moving on from the decayed Freddy Fazbear sign, we go over to the side of the building, the pizzeria that we've actually seen before. This is the delivery exit, so to speak, where the vandals actually enter from. Now, in terms of this stone brick wall, I sort of used it with some creative liberties to make a sort of trash dump, because, you know, this place will make a lot of waste in terms of plastic cups, straws, moldy pizzas. It's the 80s, there's a lot of consumerism, there is a lot of garbage. So in terms of that worked quite well in my opinion. And of course, here is the exit for the security hallway, like so. Now, as for the rear of the build, there isn't really much to go on. A lot of these buildings, they'll focus all of their money on to the facade, and then everything else is more sort of maintenance, you know, necessary building, brick walls and other things, so to speak, just to make it safe for customers and so on. But of course, rather than make it a boring cube, I did add a bit of depth over here with the winding hallways, adding a bit of a sublayer beneath the sort of lip around the back of the building. Of course, we've seen this before as the sort of shutter roof to parts and maintenance. And of course, if you do want to get up to the roof without going through, you know, maintenance and of course the animatronic repair, you can always take the ladder up to the roof itself. Now, of course, there is one more thing I need to show you folks. This is a really cool addition that I made. Just before I actually made this video, I'm sort of in the process of polishing some things up, making the map ready for release, at least on Planet Minecraft. So I think you'll enjoy this. So you may have noticed this little chute down in security and of course near the arcade, and this is of course the ventilation system. Now, you may need some night vision for this because it's a bit hard to see. So these ventilation shafts go through the entire map from the back of the tunnels to the arcade. Anywhere where it is referenced that a ventilation duct is located, I have added in. Now, let me tell you, when you're walking around with this with no potion of night vision and you're just trying to feel your way through, is so anxiety producing, let me tell you. So that's been our video, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie map showcase. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, if you do like what I do, please like and subscribe. The download for this map will be on Planet Minecraft, so please check out the link in the description if you do want to play this map. You know, maybe do some RP with your friends, what have you, but please make sure to credit me in any videos you make with this map. I want to wish everybody a fantastic good night. Here's hoping the FNAF movie is a great success. And of course, as always, God bless.
And now, folks, it is time to say good night. We sincerely appreciate your viewing and hope we've succeeded in providing you with an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Stay happy and come back again soon. Good night.